Tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Rady JCC, the Music N Mavens concert and lecture series is encouraging people to get their groove on with the music of the Mamas and the Papas. The Very Groovy Things is a Mamas and Papas tribute group that will be sure to entertain you tomorrow afternoon. Joining me here in the Classic 107 studios is a member of the Very Groovy Things. I'm joined by singer Bill Quinn. Welcome to our Classic 107 studios. We missed you yesterday, but you're here today.
Yeah, sorry about that, Chris. Yeah, really happy to be here. Thanks a lot.
It's okay. Tuesdays are so 1950s.
Very true.
So you've been to Classic 107 before with the Nightingales Nursing Choir and the Snow Tones. Tomorrow, you're performing as part of the Very Groovy Things. What inspired you to start the group?
Well, you know what? I noticed a couple of years ago that there were all kinds of tribute bands coming through. There was a Simon and Garfunkel group that came through. There was a Neil Diamond tribute band that came through. Rod Stewart. And I thought, you know what? I was looking at my Snow Tones group, and we weren't working as much as I had hoped. And I thought, there must be a group out there that we could do a tribute act for. And then it hit me. We got 4 great vocalists. How about the Mamas and the Papas? So I talked to them about it, and they thought it was a good idea, other than our soprano, who was involved, Sarah Klefstad was involved in a couple of other bands. And so originally we had the great soprano Jane Fingler as an original member. And then I talked to Laurie Mackenzie. Laurie and I had known each other for a long time when I sang in the Easy Teas a cappella group, and he was touring with Rocky Roletti. And we were at a gig one day, and he said, yeah, isn't this fun? It'd be fun for us to work together sometime. And so I contacted Laurie, and he thought it was a great idea, and it took us almost a year to find the right players, but we've got a real crackerjack band that back us up as well.
Nice. So tell us about the singers and the band that you put together. It's not just the 4 singers, right? There's a musical performing group behind it, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We have a 9-piece band. So we have the amazing Jodie Borle is our Mama Cass, and for me, she's worth the price of admission. Just an incredible singer, and has a great range and a real powerful voice. Our Michelle Phillips is a young soprano by the name of Olivia Maxfield, who sang in the Esprit Choir that has sung at Classic 107 before with Valdine Anderson, and has a really great voice, and has the look as well, looks very similar to Michelle Phillips. Our Denny Doherty is Dan Rochegood, who is tenor and countertenor supreme, who's probably more well known for his classical singing, but also has sung in a lot of 80s and 90s pop groups. Myself, I'm the John Phillips character, so I'm the guy with the fur hat.
Right.
And our band leader, as I said, is Laurie Mackenzie, who's played with all kinds of groups. He plays acoustic and electric guitar. Hickerson, who's an old bandmate of mine with the Easy Teas, who also plays guitars. We have a really experienced guy who played in 60s bands and has played in all kinds of groups like the Popular Mechanics, some of your older listeners might know of, Greg Gardner. And our keyboard player is the multi-talented Rick Boughton. Not only does he play keyboards and synthesizers, but he's a trumpet player with the Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra. Right. And our bass player is Kinzey Posen. Kinzey worked at the CBC for a long time as a producer, but is probably well known as a performer with the klezmer group Finjan.
Yeah, just a great guy as well.
Yeah.
So you've put together this group of 9 musicians. Were they all Mamas and the Papas fans when you started the group? Like, did they know the tunes? Or
well, I think Olivia and Dan, for example, probably knew the hits, which was someone like myself. I mean, I knew Monday Monday and California Dreamin', and Dream a Little Dream, because I knew that Mama Cass also had a solo career. But the rest of the players, I know that Laurie especially knew a lot more about their music, as did Greg, who's a real audiophile as well. And Rick is a guy who's played in so many different groups and so many different kinds of music that he knew a lot of their music as well.
Wow. And I understand that there's talk of a Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra show coming up sometime in the future.
We're hoping it's going to work out. Yeah, when we first started the group, I contacted the Symphony, and of course they're very supportive of local musicians, and if they can get something going with a local group, it probably makes sense financially as well as artistically. So, yeah, we're in talks about trying to build our audience and finding an arranger to do the orchestral charts as well as the vocal charts. So hoping we can put something together for a pops series with the WSO in the future.
Oh, that's great. So what attracted you to this era of music? I mean, you're talking about all these, different bands coming through. why the 60s? Why didn't you cover like a 50s or 40s band? What about the 60s do you find so unique?
Well, I think it was for me, it was the connection of our four singers with sort of an SATB group like the Mamas and Papas, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't get a group of just any four singers to sing their arrangements. John Phillips was not only a great songwriter, but a really great vocal arranger. From what I've understood in researching him, that he really studied and worked with Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, and was a big fan of the high-low. So he really understood vocal arranging. And of course, being a cappella singer myself and a choral guy, that's what really attracted me to them. But also the variety and the style, the different styles of tunes that John wrote and the band did. I mean, really digging into it for this group, real great variety of real great melodies and vocal and band arrangements.
Oh, that's great. And it's not only, like, to be clear, it's not only the music that you're performing, you're going full on costumes, the whole 9 yards. Are people going to be expected to wear flowers in their hair and
well,
shoes?
I don't want to give everything away, but even if they don't have their own flowers, they might get one at the show. Yeah, we thought, if we're going to do this, let's dive right in. And I bought a pair of pants online that a lot of people wore, that you stitch patches together on top of your blue jeans. So yeah, we've got the look, and Jodie has the moo that Mama Cass used to wear, and we got paisley shirts on the band and a little bit of tie-dye happening. So yeah, we really have the look that they had back in the 60s.
Oh, that's great. So you've mentioned some of the Mamas and the Papas tunes. What exactly can audiences expect tomorrow from
Well, they can expect the big hits, like I said, Monday and California Dreamin'. There's some songs that they may not realize that the Mamas and Papas covered that they already know, like Do You Want to Dance, for example. But there's some hidden gems in there that are real earworms. We do a song called You Baby that actually was a hit by the Turtles that they also covered, which I think the Mamas and Papas did a better version of it, but it's a real catchy tune. A lot of really great melodies, and like I say, a real great variety of styles. Like Words of Love delves into jazz and funk, and as well as sort of pop and folk music. So I mean, I think there's really something for everybody.
Oh, wow. That sounds so great. So after tomorrow's concert at the Rady JCC, what's next for the Very Groovy Things?
Well, we're talking to a couple of organizations about doing some fundraisers, and we're this close to signing up with a summer festival, but I don't want to name it until things are confirmed. But once we confirm all that, it'll be up on our Facebook page, and all you'll hear about it in the media for sure.
Oh, wow. Any ideas of any thoughts of like a recording or?
Not at this point. We're still adding tunes and want to flesh out the repertoire even more, but that's something we're definitely considering for down the line.
Yeah, and there's also the whole residual aspect of it as well, too, which probably come into play.
Yeah.
Bill, I want to thank you so much for stopping by our Classic 107 studios today. It's been just great.
Oh, thanks very much for having me, Chris.
You can get your groove on at the Music and Mavens Daytime Concert Series tomorrow at 2 p.m. with the Very Groovy Things. For more information, visit radyjcc.com or Classic 107 FM.